right with you, I'ma get right with you. Bad bitches, fuck up, then dismiss them. Bad. I ain't really here to take no pictures. Flash. Middle finger up.
Alright, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Alpha. I'm coming at you with another reaction video. This video is gonna be about one of my top 5 favorite NBA players of today, not of all time. This video will be about Derrick Rose. So, you know, I was going through YouTube, whatever, the people that I'm subscribed to, and I forget this man's name, but it's Mike something. You know, he talks about the NBA a lot, so, you know, I clicked on it because I'm like, man, this nigga's the only NBA MVP to not make the Hall of Fame. So, you know what I'm saying? Will Derrick Rose be the only MVP not to make the Hall of Fame? I mean, to be honest, it's kind of looking like that, bro. He is very injury prone, bro. Like, the man's get injured a lot, and I think that's what's holding him back. His injuries just, you know what I'm saying, kept him from being who he, you know what I'm saying, really could be. You feel me? But we finna learn more about this right about now. So let's get into the video, man.
Derrick Rose is 28 years old. He's a former NBA MVP, and as of today, almost 2 full weeks into NBA free agency, he's still a free agent. And to me, that's just insane. There was a time where people legitimately thought that Derrick Rose was one day going to be better than LeBron James, but unfortunately, and if you guys don't know, my name is Mike, and talking about Derrick Rose is always a sore subject for me. I am a Bulls fan. I do remember exactly where I was when Derrick Rose tore his ACL for the first time. Those memories still haunt me, and I really want the man to succeed. With that said, I am a rational fan. I understand that Derrick Rose has had countless knee injuries at this point. I understand that this season alone, he ended the year with a knee injury. I also understand why people believe that Derrick Rose is going to be the first MVP in NBA history to not make the Hall of Fame. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about Derrick Rose's story. Then, we're going to dive in and see if it's still possible for Derrick Rose to make the Hall of Fame. And guys, I'm telling you right now, the answer is going to surprise you. There was a time when Derrick Rose was the future of the NBA. Heading into the 2012 playoffs, a 23-year-old Rose had already solidified himself as one of the league's best players. He was a 3-time All-Star. He was the youngest MVP in league history, and he had led the Chicago Bulls to back-to-back 1 seeds in the Eastern Conference. In a league that featured young players such as Russell Westbrook and James Harden, it was Derrick Rose that was seen as the NBA's best young guard. What's more, before the 2012 season, Derrick had no injury concerns at all. He missed just 6 games in his first 3 years in the NBA, which is why it was all the more confusing when basketball tragedy struck. In Game 1 of the 2012 NBA playoffs, the top-seeded Bulls were up by 12 points with just under a minute and a half left. That's when Derrick Rose drove to the basket and went down. Immediately, we all knew this injury was serious, and it was. Rose had torn the ACL in his left knee, and he would never be the same, which to me just proves how unfair the sport of basketball can be. Derrick Rose is a man who was raised without a father in Englewood, Chicago, one of the most dangerous places in the country. And through sheer hard work and dedication, Derrick would make it out of that dangerous neighborhood by playing the sport that he loved. He became a high school basketball star, a college basketball star, an NBA star, and he should still be an NBA star in his prime. But at 28 years old, Derrick Rose is not a star. He's not an all-star. He's likely not even going to be a starting player on any team in the NBA next year, which is just unfair. Again, Derrick Rose has worked tirelessly to get to the top, and after major injury occurred, he's worked non-stop time and time again to return to the court. Derrick does not deserve to be the first MVP in basketball history to not make the Hall of Fame, but again, basketball isn't always fair. And so we're at a point in Derrick Rose's basketball career where he has not made an All-Star game since he tore his ACL in 2012. That leaves his career resume as follows. Derrick is a 3-time All-Star. He won the Rookie of the Year, and he was the youngest MVP in NBA history in 2011, as well as being a member of the first-team All-NBA, of course. And I'll be honest, those accomplishments do not seem like they would add up to a Hall of Fame basketball career, right? But Derrick Rose does have 2 things going for him. One, he's just 28 years old right now. Kyle Lowry didn't even make his first All-Star game until he was 28 years old, which to me says that Derrick Rose is still young enough to make an impact on this league. And the second thing that Derrick Rose has going for him are the actual requirements to make the Hall of Fame. When considering Derrick Rose's case to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, you need to be aware of one thing. Derrick Rose still has a chance to make the Hall because the Basketball Hall of Fame sucks and is not that hard to get into. Now, that might sound harsh, but it's true. In fact, I think basketball might have the worst Hall of Fame out of every major sport. The reason for this is that, again, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame. This means that not only are NBA legends inducted, the Hall also inducts players who had awesome college or international careers and players who had a large impact on the game. That's why we currently have guys like Drazen Petrovic in the Hall of Fame. Drazen was never an All-Star. In fact, his only real award was a single third-team All-NBA appearance. But because he had a massive impact on the game and he had a great international career, Drazen's in the Hall of Fame. So that's what we're working with here. There are players in the Hall of Fame who have never made a single All-Star game. But to be fair, I do understand that Drazen did die tragically, so that may have influenced his standing with the Hall. But let me also be clear that Drazen is not the worst player in the Hall of Fame. For instance, Bill Bradley's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, sure, the guy was a good player, sure, he's given the league a good reputation due to his work as a senator, but Bradley only played 10 seasons in the league. He averaged just 12.4 points and 3.4 assists per game for his career, and he only made 1 All-Star game. Yeah, he was a 2-time champion on some memorable Knicks teams, but a lot of players are 2-time champions. I don't understand why the Basketball Hall of Fame inducts players like Bradley. I also don't understand why the Hall of Fame inducts players such as Casey Jones, who averaged 7.4 points per game for his career, was never an All-Star, and just so happened to luck out and was on the Boston Celtics in the 60s, so he won 8 championships. Same thing with Frank Ramsey. He was a 7-time champ with the Celtics and was never an All-Star, but he's in the Hall of Fame. So we can see the Hall of Fame loves to induct players who've won a lot of championships. They also love to induct players who had good but not great careers. I'm talking about guys like Calvin Murphy. For his career, Murphy averaged almost 18 points per game, which is good, but he was only a 1-time All-Star, never made an All-NBA appearance, and never won a championship. Should the Hall of Fame really be inducting 1-time All-Stars into it? No. I don't think so, but again, players with good but not great careers get in all the time, so Derrick Rose still has a chance here. And to give you the best comparison of a current Hall of Famer I can find for Derrick Rose, let's look at Bill Walton. Walton, like Rose, is a former MVP whose career was ruined by injury. He was also just a 2-time All-Star and actually played in 2 less games in his entire career than Derrick Rose has already played in. But unfortunately, that's where the case for Derrick Rose stops, because while Walton was only a 2-time All-Star, he also won 2 championships. The first championship he won was with the Trailblazers, a year where he was named to the first-team All-NBA and was Finals MVP. And the second one he won years later with the Celtics, where he was named 6th Man of the Year for that season. So you can see, yes, Walton had a short career, but winning 2 championships and earning some extra NBA hardware along the way was enough to push him over the top. The thing is, though, I think Walton's resume for the NBA Hall of Fame is actually a good thing for Derrick Rose, because while it's clear that Rose does not belong in the Hall of Fame right now, it's also very clear that he still has a chance to make it. I mean, again, again, the man is a one-time MVP, one-time first-team All-NBA, and three-time All-Star. The beginnings of his own resume are there. And sure, everyone has written him off right now, but remember, there was a time where everyone also doubted Bill Walton. Then, Bill proved all of his haters wrong and joined the Celtics and won Sixth Man of the Year and a championship in the same season, which to me says that Derrick Rose still has a chance to make a huge impact on a winning basketball team. It's likely he'll never be an All-Star again. There's probably no chance he'll ever return to his MVP level. But what he can do is reinvent himself as a sixth man on a championship team. The man still has some obvious talents. I mean, he averaged 18 points per game last year. In the right role, he could thrive. So he should forget about being a starter. He should forget about becoming a star again.
No, bro,
right
don't.
now. Because right now, he should choose to become the sixth man on the Spurs, the Rockets, the Cavs, on some contender that could really use him. If he does that, he'll have a chance to be a real contributor on a championship team. And from what I've shown you, from what the Hall of Fame wants, they want championships. So if Derrick Rose swallows his pride, if he joins a championship team and wins a ring or two, it's still very possible that Derrick Rose can avoid becoming the first MVP in NBA history to not be inducted in the Hall of Fame. So, there you guys have it. I know it's a long shot. I know there's a very good chance that injuries are going to ruin Derrick Rose. But if he just swallows his pride, at least for this...
I don't know. I don't agree with him on that part, though. Like, I still feel like Rose could do what he do, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Just keep working at it, keep working hard, you know what I'm saying? Injuries is a setback, but it ain't that big of a setback, you know what I'm saying? Because he's still, like he said, averaging 18 points and shit like that. Alright, y'all.